maybe the only happy area in this whole stadium, Chris.
Quite possibly, Spiro. I mean, considering the ship set sail on this game in the first half, most of the fans made their way out here to the ship area. Roger Goodell, a big fan of unique game experiences. Here's a look into the Chicago team store right now. You can see they have a shirt, "We Want the Cup." Well, tough hot dogs, Chicago. You're not going to get the cup. I made sure to bring some blue. I'm going to walk it into the team store right now, and we're going to deposit a lot of blue around this arena tonight, and hopefully a blue and white lightning whip. Standing just outside Bayfront Medical Center, where Rays starting pitcher Alex Cobb is being kept overnight for observation after living through a pitcher's worst nightmare. Cobb suffering a mild concussion after being struck in the head in the top of the 5th inning in today's ball game against the Royals. Now, the student newspaper, the Daily Collegian, captures the sentiment felt around campus. The headline reads, "May no act of ours bring shame." Now, the students really feel, through no fault of their own, that Penn State is about to endure a very dark hour. In talking with FSU head coach Jimbo Fischer, he tells me Tampa Bay will fall in love with the fire and competitiveness of Jameis Winston. Down in Bradenton, it's not only their ballpark, but the Pirates are experiencing a renaissance of sorts. After 21 years between playoff appearances, the Buccos have made back-to-back trips to the postseason. Manager Clint Hurdle says the key to 3 will be the health of the man who's been driving the black and yellow bus, Fort Meade native Andrew McCutcheon. They expected a whiteout here. Well, it was nearly a whitewash. Like you mentioned, Carey Price, tremendous in between the pipes, stopping 26 of 27 shots. Montreal's defense clogged the Lightning offense through the neutral zone.
But let's go downstairs again to Chris Fischer.
Thanks, Spiro. Gus Bradley told us when he took over the Jaguars coaching job, he couldn't afford to draft players who didn't start right away. He couldn't afford to make exceptions. Quite a few bitter Blackhawks fans, the way the Lightning could just wipe them out of the Stanley Cup final. We're here in front of the iconic Cloud Gate in Millennium Park in downtown Chicago. And unlike the thousands that poured out to Curtis Hickson Park last night to support the Bolts, the Blackhawks fans, their support here in Millennium Park, not as reflective. And like the Monument Park at Yankee Stadium, which coincides with the one at Steinbrenner Field in Tampa, they'll both have a new addition come August, as the Pinstripes announce they'll retire Andy Pettit's number 46. For the Ravens, who improved to 5-0 against the Dolphins under John Harbaugh, he said they have to get pressure on Ryan Tannehill, contain him in the pocket, and get in his face. Last season, the Ravens were able to sack him 6 times. It was hostile environment and territory for the Bolts to walk into. The big question coming in, would Ben Bishop be in the net tonight? Not only did he play, he came up big. El Hadji Taco Fall is the tallest high school basketball player in the country.
The first game I have played here, I couldn't play. It was way fast.
A game he's built for. His high fives are low fives. His hands, nearly a foot long. Taco's wingspan, 8 feet. His shoes, almost both of mine combined. Size 22, the same size as Shaquille O'Neal. And Taco is taller than anyone currently in the NBA, and he's still growing.
We went to a doctor just to check in, and he said that I might add a couple more inches in a couple months.
In the classroom, no desk is big enough, but that doesn't hold him back.
First, I have a 4.0. I want to be a bad chemist if basketball doesn't work out.
At Liberty Christian Prep, Taco isn't what you would call a uniform student, head and shoulders above the rest. On the court, the sky's the limit. Off it, his intentions are a slam dunk.
I just want to take care of my mom and my brother. I mean, have a stable environment. And basketball is a good way to do it.
Reporting from Tavares, Chris Fischer, 10 Sports. Before they hit the ice, Lightning players have to get into game mode, even if they have to get out of their wheelchair first. You see, there are 2 Lightning teams skating at the Forum. There's these guys. And there's these guys and girls playing the game of sled hockey.
You have some of these players that love the sport, but because of a physical disability, they can't play, the way everyone else does. This gives them the opportunity to come out here and play hockey.
There's goals and checking. And even a star player. Declan Farmer is the Lightning's equivalent of Steven Stamkos, except Farmer also plays for the U.S. national team, and his sled takes him all over the world.
I'm going to Canada twice this year and South Korea this spring, so it's a sport. I mean, I would have probably never started without Lightning.
The program is solely funded by the Bolts, providing ice time and equipment. To play the sport of sled hockey, you need some essentials, including sticks. These two have an edge to them so they can pick into the ice. Always have to have a helmet for safety. You have to have a sled, of course. And when you're playing here at the Forum, gotta have your Lightning jersey.
To them, we're disabled, but to us out here, we are not. We're just players.
Whether it's on skates or a sled, when players get into game mode, it's all about one thing: love for the game. Reporting from Tampa, Chris Fischer, 10 News.
Now, live from the sports desk, it's time for 10 Sports.
3:27 to go. McNabb dropping foot. It's intercepted at the 10 to the 20. He's gone. Coast to coast. Rodney Barber to the 50 to the 40. Barber to the 30. Nobody's going to touch him. Rodney Barber 10-5 touchdown Tampa Bay.
Oh, you gotta love anytime you get to dust off that old video, the Bucs' greatest play in the franchise history. Hello again, everyone, and welcome into 10 Sports. To say the Bucs and Eagles have a history would be putting it mildly. In Philadelphia, that 2002 NFC Championship game is known as Black Sunday. But on this day of rest, the Buccaneers are working toward a wild card playoff spot. 2 games out with 7 games to play. Let's take you to chilly Philly. Bucs and Eagles, both 4-5 on the season. Mark Sanchez getting this start at Burns QB. Eagles striking first, but the Bucs striking back. Jameis Winston to Mike Evans. His second touchdown of the season ties it up at 7. And Philly would go 3 and out on their next possession. So second quarter, Bucs right back at it. Winston to Vijax. Vincent Jackson in action after missing the past 2 games with a knee injury. 14-7 Bucs. Eagles again go 3 and out. So the Bucs give it up to the Duggernaut. Doug Martin with a huge day. He had 177 yards rushing in the first half alone. 84 coming right. Yeah. The stiff arm pushed out of bounds. Dougie would not get into the end zone, but that would set up Winston. To Russell Shepard, his first career touchdown. 21-7 pewter and red. Then just before the half, they weren't done. Bucs back in the red zone, facing another third down. Winston, teardrop, into double coverage. Charles Sims, great catch, turns, and gets inside the pylon. Bucs took a 28-14 lead into the half. Third quarter, picking up right where they left off with a 15-play, 9.5-minute drive. Winston to Cameron Brate. Jameis tying a franchise record with his 5th touchdown pass of the game. Talk about spreading it around. 5 different receivers with a TD reception, and the defense with the exclamation point. Levante David, his pick 6, his second INT of the ball game. 45-17, Bucs rout the Birds. Buccaneers with back-to-back W's for the first time since 2012, snapping the NFL's longest streak at 31 games.
Of course, it's the best for us. We've
seen the number 3 car on the track at Daytona. It's making a comeback this year. How amped are you to see that Richard Childress ride back out on Daytona?
Well, I think it's awesome. Okay, that number 3 deserves to be on the racetrack.
Welcome into 10 Sports. A new manager, a new voice in the clubhouse, and yet the same old quiet bats. Not exactly a money showing at the plate in Kevin Cash's debut as Rays manager. Rays hosting the Orioles in their Grapefruit League opener. Cash with Nate Carnes penciled in for the start, and Carnes looked pretty good. Striking out the first batter of the game, he went 2 innings, allowing a hit, a walk, and no runs. Carnes in contention for that 5th spot in the rotation. Top of the second, Orioles to try the hit and run. Steve Clevenger sky one into the sun. Evan Longoria is going to double him up. Rays and O's, though, took a 1-1 tie into the 9th. Michael Amanzar put the Orioles on top for good. 3-2 the final, Baltimore taking it. Cash admitting afterward he had some nerves going in.
The walk-in